Hello, my name is Thea and I'm a training specialist at Tom PIT. In today's video, I'm going to talk about alternative measure units. The goal of this lesson is to learn what is an alternative measure unit, where to input and manage alternative measure units in the Tom PIT system, and the importance of having the option to manage alternative measure units directly through the system. Alternative measure units allows businesses to manage materials using different unit types that best suit their operations. They provide flexibility by enabling conversions between units such as liters to gallons or kilograms to pounds, pieces into pallets, ensuring capability with vendors, customers, and internal processes. This helps companies with their inventory management and production planning, especially when working with global partners or handling diverse product specifications. Having the ability to set and use alternative measurement units directly within a system is highly beneficial for production companies. It allows them to personally align their internal measurements with industry standards, vendors, and customer requirements. For example, imagine working in a company that assembles steel rigs. The supply sector orders a pallet of steel rods, yet inside the company they are used one by one during production. By setting up alternative measure units in the system, you can easily convert between the two without manual calculations. Steel rods can now be in pallets or in separate pieces. This ensures that warehouse staff can accurately manage stock levels, production teams can measure the exact amount needed for each task, and supply can order the correct quantities from vendors without confusion. Now let's see how this works in Tom PIT. You can find and manage alternative measure units in several domains, including assets, logistics, maintenance, production, and supply. Within each domain, they are located under the materials within the management section, except for assets, which has a separate icon for materials. I am going to access them through the assets domain, selecting materials, and lastly, alternative measure units. The page includes two filters on the left that, when chosen, represent the alternative measure unit for the material selected. If no alternative measure is set for the chosen entity, the middle section of the page will be empty. To set a new alternative measure unit for an item, firstly select the material type and entity on the left, then select the blue action button on the bottom right corner of the screen. A form for entering the alternative measure unit opens. At the top, the base measure unit for the material is displayed, in this case, pieces. Now select the measure unit into which you want to convert it. The drop-down menu displays measure units that are already defined in the system. I want to convert the pieces of steel rod into pallets of steel rod. Next, you need to input a denominator and numerator. The numerator is the number that will divide the base measure unit, and numerator is the number that will multiply the base measure unit. One pallet contains approximately 100 steel rods. In this case, I'm going to divide it by 1, since the alternative unit is not smaller, and multiply it by 100, since alternative unit has 100 times more material than the base unit. Make sure that the opposite value is always 1 and not 0, since multiplying and dividing a number by 0 is not valid. To finish the input, select the Add button. Now, when this entity is selected, the alternative measure unit is displayed in the center of the page. To edit a unit, click on the blue name and change the information to your liking. After changing, select the Save button to save the new information, or click the Delete button to erase the unit from the system. From now on, entering or editing packaging of materials, you can add alternative measure units for them. And with that, we conclude today's lesson on alternative measure units. Let's summarize what we learned in this video. You now know what alternative measure units are, you know where to input and manage alternative measure units in the Tom PIT system, and you know the importance of having an option to manage alternative measure units directly through the system. I hope this video helped, and I will see you in the next lesson.